welcome to our next series of episodes where we are going to get into Karnataka's Raichur city. Of course, I am sitting in Bangalore at the moment at the Gayathri and Namit Architects firm, and I am here with architect Gayathri Shetty. She is the founder partner. I am Shriyal Sethumadhavan, and we are going to discuss or go delve into the Raichur city in Karnataka, where it gives you with a dry climate, it gives you with the sunlight everybody wants, but it definitely gifted architect Gayathri Shetty with a challenge to create a design in a library space where she could also bring in the natural light and yet keep away the heat. So having said that, yes, I am talking about the Navodaya Educational Trust in Raichur, and I am here with architect Gayathri. Thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure to be having this interaction with you today.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be interacting with you in our office, in my cabin.
Yes.
Enjoying that. Wanted to just talk to you about
about the project. So we'll go straight to my list of questions. And if you can tell me, let's begin with the time when you got to know you need to take on this task in a city like Raichur, and what was the brief that came to you about, building and designing this library space?
So when Mr. S.R. Reddy came to us and, talked about doing this iconic building for Raichur, which is the Medical College Library building, we wanted to give it a contemporary look and at the same time make it stand out in the city. We wanted to be a talked about building in the industry as well for educational buildings. So having said that, if you look at Raichur, it comes with a very hot and dry climate. So one had to be a little careful with choosing the right kind of elevation, especially if it's contemporary with a lot of glass. So that's how we started the brief.
If you can tell us a little more about the site location and how did that influence your architectural design back on your drawing board back then?
So Raichur, like I mentioned, has very hot summers. Temperatures soar beyond 40 degrees centigrade, and most of the time it's very hot and very dry. So the idea was to have a building which would be naturally cooler than the surroundings. It was also going to be an air-conditioned building. We wanted to use glass because we wanted to showcase a contemporary building as well. So these were our dilemmas when we actually got into designing of this structure.
I have seen the project and I must say it has a bold and dynamic look, even going back to the time it was designed. But if you could also touch upon that, why did you choose louvers for the facade back then in your design plan?
So we were looking to do an elevation that would cut the sun coming into the building so that the heat gain is minimized. And we also wanted, the concepts that GNA uses is to be a lot with nature. And so we wanted that inside-outside connect visually. So we wanted people using the space to be able to look out easily. So there was going to be glass and there was going to be a connect with the landscaping outside. The idea was to have a lot of trees and have it, cool looking from the inside. And at the same time, we wanted to minimize the glass facade, which is, open to sun rays.
I can't agree with you more on the people and nature connect, because evidently I see it in your office setup as well, that how beautifully you have connected your office in the lap of nature, if I can put it that way. But yes, I think you've touched upon the functional side of it when you tell me that what was the thought behind adopting this. But tell us a little aesthetically, how did it add more value to the structure as well?
So like I said, GNA loves to see its buildings in a natural setting, and having said that, we were looking at various cladding elements initially and how we could really portray this building like it is, using your words, sitting in the lap of nature. So what worked perfectly for us was louvers. Then came the decision as to what kind of louvers, what size of louvers for this large building. You know, louvers are normal, we use it all the time in a smaller scale project when it comes to, you know, window louvers and areas where, you know, require more aesthetic value. But here we wanted to expand the canvas and try and see how we could use it in, you know, in a larger way and bring that same feeling of warmth into this large building. I have to add that, you know, our client, Mr. Reddy, was very, very, very supportive because back then, this is like 10 years plus since we've done this building, it was not an easy product to kind of suggest and to, you know, because of the cost of it, for the size of the building it was, but he agreed, and we were very happy to use it in a wooden natural color, which really brought in that extra warmth into that entire setting.
Yes, in fact, I was coming to that the choice of the wooden color was also related to your entire design philosophy of bringing in the whole nature touch to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's been beautifully done. But even if we go back to a decade ago, when you had to make choices, when you had to purchase, having a huge market open there with no dearth for choice, why Fundermax? Why did you decide to use the louvers from Fundermax?
I think it worked very well as a product. It was a product that, you know, like we said, we really wanted to cut the heat gain. So, you know, one choice was metal, the second choice was stone, and of course there was Fundermax. So when we looked at these choices, Fundermax fit in very well into this particular role, if I may say so, because I think even in terms of the sustainability and the aspect of, you know, aesthetics like we wanted, we actually got the wood effect, which again kind of, you know, made a huge difference in the entire elevation treatment, I would say.
Right, right. I think I couldn't have a better example than this project to discuss with you about durability and maintenance. So when today we are talking about a project that was probably designed a decade ago, and Fundermax's facade used in the exterior, which is actually setting the tone for the look and feel when someone first sees the project. If you can elaborate a little on the durability and maintenance that Fundermax's products involve, or the louvers have involved.
So I would say that there has been no complaints at all. So I would think that it's doing extremely well. Of course, we haven't been going back and forth with the client in recent years, and if there was a complaint, I'm sure it would have reached our office, but that hasn't happened. Also, I think, you know, I have been using Fundermax panels for a long time in many projects, and that is something that I don't need to worry about. So I think for architects who, you know, are constantly worried about clients coming back to them regarding service, regarding, you know, its functionality and regarding its long-term use, I think it's worked well for us.
Coming to the important part, which somewhere you've already touched upon in our conversation, sustainability. So I can clearly see that sustainability is a critical, or maybe it forms the foundation of Gayathri and Namit Architects. And then it is also important, the ecosystem within which you work. So how does Fundermax's facades and products support your sustainability philosophy?
I think, you know, when it comes to sustainability, you know, the composition of Fundermax itself, and I have actually made that trip to the factory to see how it is actually done. So it definitely shows the you know, value that the company puts into being a sustainable product. Also, there are you know, it becomes simpler for us to kind of look at a product like Fundermax because it's been time tested. So not only by other people and other clients, but also by us in our own projects. And if there is one area that we haven't had complaints, it's with Fundermax.
How do you think this project stands out when we talk about blending educational architecture with climate responsive design? How does this project stand out?
So immediately after doing this product, we actually did, engineering college for the same client. So NIT, which was the campus which was next to it. And though we did not use that much of Fundermax in that project, I think it was a great example which was already there in the campus for students to even realize the importance of having a sustainable product and to be able to see that it doesn't have to be in a certain way. It doesn't have to be kind of be just glass everywhere. There is a way of doing it, and I think this is something that we really feel proud of, to be able to do as many sustainable buildings as possible.
Actually, I must say this, especially because we're talking about an educational structure over here, but as architects, you not only design, but your designs also educate, also create awareness and the required knowledge in the space that it is being utilized. So I think definitely educational infrastructure is a place where sustainability can be at its maximum. But yes, that would bring me to my last question, that if you had to describe your association with Fundermax in a word or a sentence, what would it be? And requesting you to look straight into this camera while you respond to that.
Well, Fundermax and GNA goes back a long time, and I think we've been working with them definitely more over a decade. What I would like to say is that it's been a great partnership. And I think once we kind of use Fundermax, we seem like we can, take on that moral responsibility very easily of making sure that the product is going to do well within the designed intent.
Thank you so much. And I must say, I think the beauty of India is that we have cities of different sizes, different cultures, and I think time and again we have proven that you don't only need the metros to focus on aesthetics, focus on functionality, and focus on great work, but we also see it in cities like Raichur, as we have spoken today. A great project, and looking forward to much more of your work on these lines, of course with Fundermax products, creating wonders rather. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon with our next project. Thank you.
Thank you.